I predicted USC to win this game 31-28. Final score, Minnesota 24, USC 17. If this is your first time watching my video or videos, seeing my channel, just want to say hello. Thank you for watching. I've noticed that when USC loses and I make these videos, sort of recap reaction videos, there tends to be an uptick in viewers. Not that I get a lot of traffic anyway, but compared to my other videos, there are a few more views for these losses. So if you're a fan of another team, not a USC fan, watching these videos, curious to see the reactions, hello, thank you for watching. Now, if you're a USC fan, a subscriber, or not a USC fan but are subscribed, hello and thank you for watching again. So, talking about the game itself, am I surprised by the outcome? No. If you watch my prediction video, you'll see that I didn't sound very confident in my prediction. I mean, I predicted a win, but I was still very critical of the team. And even if they had won this game the way that they played on Saturday, all the questions and concerns that I had were just as valid then as they are now. So yeah, Minnesota won. To me, the issues are there's a couple of them. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line needs to protect Miller Moss better, and there's still tons of pressure that's being put on him, and a lot of batted down passes. I've never seen so many, as far as I can remember, in a season. But that seems to be a lot because the defenses are getting a lot of pressure on the line and getting close to Miller Moss to get into reach to block the passes. I mean, the running game's been okay. At times, it's looked really good, and then it seems to stall or what. But again, I think it's more offensive line related. And with the offensive line, I think this is an area where they're going to need to make a coaching change. I think it's Henson as the guy. I don't think he's done that great of a job in these 3 years. Doesn't seem like they've really turned a corner. Now, this isn't, this isn't like a veteran offensive line, but they're not necessarily a young line either. So I still think they could be doing better than how they are. With the receiving game, we're seeing good plays from Deuce Robinson, but we didn't see much from Jacoby Lane on Saturday. He was much more active on Wednesday. And with the receiving game, Zach Branch, he's catching passes, but I don't know, he just doesn't look as explosive, doesn't have that speed, that edge that he had last year. Who knows why that is, but that's just what it looks like. And then with Miller Moss, yeah, he's not Caleb Williams. He's not as mobile. And so, yeah, it's going to be easier for defenses to get to him, but still the offensive line just needs to be better. I think that's number one. And then after that, there's just that, I don't know, there just isn't an explosiveness to the offense like that we had seen in other years. And this is the first time, I think, in a Lincoln Riley as head coach, where the offense seems to be more of a liability than the defense. And with a little bit more offense, SC would have won this game, and same with Michigan. I know, granted, they played better in the second half, but you got to play a full game. And yeah, the offense just seems to be the bigger question mark. Something just they just don't seem to be all there. Defensively, yeah, they've gotten better. They're better than they were last year, and that's, I guess, relative. Last year, they're not. I'm not saying SC's the best defense this year, one of the best in the country, or anything like that. No, there's a lot they got to work on, but again, it's nice to see improvement there. And I think going into next year, I think this unit will be much better. But there are still issues, and it didn't hurt that Eric Gentry, the linebacker, did not play in the game. And if you're not a USC fan and watching the channel, you don't know the players, well, Eric Gentry is the leading tackler on the team. And when he's not playing, I think the USC defense feels it, and then they feel it not in a good way. I think they could have, if he was playing, I think things could have been maybe a little bit different, but not saying it would have I think we would still be, having our relative general criticisms of the game, but he would have made things a little better. Just like when he played against, Utah in the game in 2022 at Utah, once he got injured in that game, the defense, they took a step back, and, we saw the outcome of that one. And then also with Bear Alexander, a defensive tackle, for him to decide to take the year off or sit out or redshirt, that, I think that hurts as well, to not have a big body and to, not have that little extra depth. That can make a difference, because the defensive line, again, they're better than they were last year, but you need those big bodies, and it would be good to have them. But Bear Alexander made his choice. Now in the secondary, I think the secondary has held up decently. They were much more of a liability last year, but this year, I think, just okay. Defensive line, though, they're not getting as much pressure as we'd like on quarterbacks, and they're not not. They could or should commit some more turnovers. I think that would help things. But also, talking about USC and the offense, turnovers were a problem. They committed 3 turnovers against Minnesota. They committed. They also, I think, committed 3 against Wisconsin too. So yeah, there are definitely some issues with this team that need to be worked out. And looking at the rest of the season, I would say there's good reason to be concerned that might not be a great season. Maybe it could be an average season, but still, there's reason to be have concerns and have questions. Now, talking about USC and the Big Ten, and people will talk about, can USC handle the Big Ten and all this physical, all that kind of stuff, right? To me, it's not so much that if USC can handle the Big Ten. I don't think it's the Big Ten in itself. The issue is just more with USC. It's just more to do with, defensively, I think they've made the right choices with the coaching staff to make improvements there. Not everything's going to be fixed in the first year, but I think they've otherwise held up well there. It's just, to me, more of a question of the offense. The offensive line, there needs to be a coaching change at that position. I think that would fix a lot of issues. I think that's really the root, of the problem. Because if you can't have a strong enough offensive line, that's going to make it harder on the passing game, and then likewise, it's going to make it harder for the receivers. So that needs to be fixed. And I think if SC can make some of these changes, they'll do as well as you could possibly do in the Big Ten. I think they could easily be, one of those top teams when they themselves get things together. Not so much, that they can't handle the Big Ten. These are otherwise winnable games. Other teams in the past for USC at different points in time would do just fine with schedules like what USC has right now. I'm not saying these are easy schedules, but other teams, and with either the right experience or better coaching at certain positions, they would do much better. But for this year, yes, there is a little bit of there is some struggle, and that's just how it is. So I know the video is almost 9 minutes. I better stop here. It's getting a little long. I think I've made my point clear. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and as always, fight on.